All right. So good morning. Oh, such a blessing to be up here this morning. Um, Today we're going to talk about this topic. It's called I Got It, I Lost It. I got it, I lost it. It's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, a little waltz. So actually today we're going to talk about the dance of life, the dance between I got it and I lost it. The dance between remembering who we are, I got it, and forgetting who we are, I lost it. The dance between our true divine selves and our imaginary sense of identity. And because I actually am a trained dancer, oh yay, my Buddhist song is here. I am going to weave in my dance experience to this dance of life of I got it, I lost it. And so I wanted to start with a little bit of dance background. I actually started dancing when I was 5 in parades because it was kind of a cultural family obligation. But then at the age of 7 is when I started my formal training. It was my mom who decided to sign me up for ballet. And I didn't fight it. I kind of just went with it because I was curious. And she gave me 3 particular reasons why she decided to sign me up for ballet. And one was that I was extremely shy as a child, and I would be the one who you see hiding behind their mom's legs and peeking myself out. Number 2 is that I was extremely pigeon-toed, so I used to walk like that. And she thought ballet would help me, fix my gait. And then third, I come from a lineage of dancers on my mom's side, and so dance came easily for me. So ballet. So I took ballet for several years, and I worked on my turnout, to fix my gait, and I worked on my placement and my form, and I did not like it. I did not love it. But even though I didn't love it, I still worked my way up to being on point, which means that you wear point shoes, have hard tips, and you dance on your toes. And in those classes, I had the meanest point teacher. I mean, I still remember her name was Michelle, and I could still see her puke face and her mustache and her pointed words saying, push on those arches, push on those arches. I don't care how much it hurts, push on those arches. So needless to say, I just started hating dance. And then on top of that, having to perform in front of people, for a shy person, that is torture. That is just pure torture. And I was ready to quit. But then I found jazz. Jazz. Love jazz dance. This is more like free-flowing and fun and funky. And so I wanted to quit ballet and just focus on jazz, and that's just not allowed. In the studio, you have to take ballet and to accompany any other dance discipline. And so I said, okay, I love jazz so much that, okay, I'll take ballet and jazz. And so I did that up and through high school. In high school, I took a couple of dance classes, but then, my focus changed. I started focusing on varsity softball and boys. And so dance fell by the wayside. But then eventually, as a young adult in my 20s, I became a part of a hip-hop performing group. And so we performed in venues around this area, and I loved it. I just loved it. At that time, I was working this job that I absolutely hated, and I was in this relationship that was volatile, it was dysfunctional, and dance was my happy place. It's a place where I could get lost and just be one with God. And so it still is. Dance is still my happy place, although I have more happy places. I love to sing as well. So the so-called dance of life within my dance history is between being not enough and being fully alive. It's between my small self and my divine self. And when I look back on it, the whole experience, I know from the depths of my being that it was the perfect path for me. Even those ballet years when I was miserable, it was the perfect path for me. And I know also that my mother, she was guided by Spirit to set me upon this path that led me to find my true divine nature. I also know that my fears, my reservations, which took the form of shyness and my little inward gate, it was all felt and experienced for a reason. So the dance between I got it and I lost it actually exists dialectically in the dance of life. These two different ideas work together and affect each other to create what is to be. And I see my dialectical dance narrative as experiencing pain and fear and finding my life's passion, which actually leads me to being up here today. Unafraid, not so shy, and actually serving a higher purpose. Believe it or not, it is still not my favorite thing to be the center of attention, which is really weird for a minister and a dancer, right? And a singer, yeah. In dance, I love to be in a group, work in a corps, just like I love to be in our group of singers, the Songbirds, where I get to enjoy just being one with God and not have to worry about people focusing on me. And in ministry, my calling is to simply help others know how amazing life can be and how we can better our lives through knowing God and through the science of mind principles. And that's why I'm up here right now. Even though it causes me to be the center of attention, my purpose is being met. So again, the two identities by which we dance through life, I got it, I lost it, I got it, I lost it. This waltz happens between our true defined selves and our imaginary sense of identity. So our true divine selves is our God selves. It's that conscious self related to oneness and connection and transcendence of the outer. And this may surprise you because it really surprised me the first time I read this, but in the glossary of the Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes describes ego, with a capital E, as the following. The I am of the Bible, the Christ, the perfect idea of God. In metaphysical terms, the ego refers to the real, capital R, consciousness, capital C, of man. In psychology, it carries a slight different variation of interpretation, implying an organization or system of mental states. In this textbook, we frequently use it merely to convey the thought of the inner man, the real self. So he's using the word ego synonymous with the real self. I was quite surprised. And I purposefully did not use the word ego as the real self because I think, quite honestly, we've been conditioned to think of ego in the psychological terms, focusing on personal desires and fears and attachments and separation. Conditioning plays a huge role in this and in how we experience the world today. We've been conditioned to see the world from certain perspectives, whether it be based on our experiences or our circumstances or imposed upon us by family or society. And this conditioning, it comes from a dualistic perspective, seeing God, which is everything, as separate from us, which we know it is not. The good news is, since we know this, we can now consciously recondition ourselves through our conscious choreography of the dance of life. This choreography bringing us back to God over and over again. Excuse me. It is really important to realize that this dance between the true divine self and the imaginary identity is natural. It's a natural part of life. As spiritual beings having a human experience, it's just who we are. It could look like God is so good and abundant to, I can't afford that. Or my God is wholeness and perfection to, oh, I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired. Or we are all one to, those people are fill in the blank. None of us lives our conscious, true, divine selves 24/7, 365. We are here to grow. And we are here to remain compassionate toward ourselves and all others through it all, through the dance of life. And when we are conscious that the dance is going on, we get to choreograph it more toward our good rather than just living by default and just going with whatever's happening. Reminds me of the story of the man and his horse. A monk slowly walks along a road when he hears the sound of a galloping horse. He turns around to see a man riding a horse moving swiftly in his direction. When the man reaches closer, the monk asks, "Where are you going?" To which the man replies, "I don't know, ask the horse," and rides away. We get to choreograph our lives, not just go with the horse. We get to take the reins. And when we are taking the reins, it's important to remember that we are not to fight it. This is not a battle. Don't fight what's going on. Simply accept it. Accept the moment. Allow it to be as it is. And then take the reins. And I know this is a difficult thing to do. You know, when we have all this stuff going on in our minds, what we have to do to accept, allow, and to change our consciousness and our circumstances is through this beautiful practice of stillness. Stillness awakens us from our conditioning and allows wholeness to wash over us and wash away the compulsive thinking that's going on back here, the labels we put on things, and opens us up to truth, opens us up to God. The I got it. Eckhart Tolle said, "When you accept this moment fully, when you no longer argue with what is, compulsive thinking wanes and is replaced by an alert stillness. You are fully conscious, and yet the mind puts no label on this moment. This state of inner non-resistance opens you to unconditioned awareness, which is infinitely greater than the human mind. Then this vast intelligence can express itself through you and help you both from within and without. That is why when you let go of inner resistance, you often find that circumstances change for the better." It's not a battle. We're not fighting what's going on. It's being fully conscious, letting go of resistance, and accepting the dance. And it's simply surrendering to the presence and the power of God, the presence and the power of good. I personally love the word surrender. But I found out a couple weeks ago in our practitioner class, our monthly practitioner class, that the word surrender does not have positive connotations for everyone. In fact, it's quite the opposite. And I think that in both cases, it's conditioning. So I wanted to try an experiment with you. If you could clasp your hands together tightly, and then try to pull them apart, but don't let them come apart. Just pull, 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 pull. This is the battle. And now release them and place them in your lap. To me, this is what surrender feels like. I personally like the surrender part better than the battle part. But life is both. That's part of the dance. One of the principles of the science of mind, spiritual principles, is called totality. And totality sees a universal dimension as the completed universe of wholeness and oneness. In this, spirit is a perfect totality that includes all and harmoniously incorporates all apparent opposites. Just like that dialectical dance of life, the spiritual principle of totality harmoniously incorporates all apparent opposites. As we say, it's all God. Every bit of it. And once we accept that and go to our place of stillness, our place of God, then we can move our consciousness toward how we want to choreograph our dance of life. So right now, I wanted to invite you to experience some moments of stillness through a guided meditation. So I invite you just to get comfortable as you can where you are. And gently close your eyes or lower your gaze. And allow your awareness to drift inward, tuning into your own inner landscape. Feel the gentle peace that already lives within you, identifying with a sense of quiet. Trust where your awareness pulls you and zero in on it now. Imagine that your entire sense of awareness is traveling to that deep, quiet space. And stay in that space until all there is stillness. Affirm to yourself, I am still, all is well, all is still. And stay in that space of stillness as if you are completely at home with it. And in that sense of stillness within you, imagine there are boundaries around it, as if there's a sphere of pearlescent light. And see the light fully encompassing you. This orb of stillness, this orb of light. Imagine dropping down through the earth, through layers of soil and roots until you are traveling toward a bright golden light at the center of the earth. Feel yourself beginning to merge with that bright golden light at the center of the earth until you are one with its center. This is the point of stillness within the earth and within yourself. Now begin to imagine the boundaries around this orb of golden light. See it, sense it, feel it. You are sealed into this point of stillness, centered and connected. And if your energy field feels like there's adjusting, just trust and welcome it with the highest and most loving good in mind. It's safe to trust and allow what you're experiencing. And once you feel completely cocooned in this orb of light at the center of the earth, feel the earth being pulled like a magnet all the way to the center of our solar system, our sun. And embraced by the sun, one with the sun, you are transported to the center of the entire universe, almost as if by magic. Feel yourself floating here now, still in your orb of golden light, in the middle of it all, sensing and feeling perfect balance throughout the entire universe, and you in perfect harmony at the very center of it all. Imagine your orb of light beginning to flow out from you across the entirety of the universe. And somehow you feel it floating back to you. You experience this beautiful cyclical feeling until all you experience is light. And from here, affirm to yourself, I am ready to let go of what has been and enter into what I'm meant to be for the purpose of the greatest joy. I am ready to let go of what has been and enter into what I'm meant to be for the purpose of the greatest joy. Now, it's time to come back to this room. Take a few breaths. Be in this moment. Maintain this awareness you have just experienced. Roll your shoulders. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And open your eyes. And welcome back. It's truly my desire for each of us to be able to experience that stillness, whether it be through a guided meditation as such, or getting quiet on the pillow. Whatever it looks like for you. Could be nature. Being in this stillness space allows us to connect with our true divine selves, and then we are able to choreograph our dance of life to our joy, to our place of divinity. I got it, I lost it. That's the dance of life. And when we do it consciously, It's like doing the hokey pokey because we turn ourselves around. So it is.